Have y'all heard of time blocking? I mentioned it in my kitchen video, and I wanted to circle back so we could give it another look. So with this video, I wanted to talk about what time blocking is and the 11 reasons, plus actually a little bonus reason at the end, that you might want to use it to enhance your productivity. So today is the what and the why of time blocking, and we'll leave the how for another time. So what is time blocking? Time blocking is a way of scheduling our time that can be really helpful, especially for those of us who have control over our time, like business owners, solopreneurs, stay-at-home parents, employees with a lot of autonomy, retired folks, and so on. With time blocking, we break our day into themed chunks, and we populate those chunks with similar kinds of tasks or activities that could get done within those chunks. For example, you could have an exercise chunk, a family time chunk, a play and rest time chunk, a mental health or spirituality chunk, and then, like I have 3 work type chunks. I have focused solo work, outward facing time with clients and colleagues, and administrative and email time. Your chunks, of course, will be different depending on your life's needs and flow. You might have a weekly errands chunk or do what you can while your kid is napping chunk. Here's an example. Your weekday may look like this. You could have a quiet morning time. You could have a lunch break and walking, errands and appointments, dinners and chores, and a bedtime routine. Or maybe it's this. You have a breakfast and get yourself and everyone out the door block, and maybe a house tidy, cleaning, prepping dinner time, and then maybe out of the house time, errands and gym and appointments, and then maybe a focused work time, quiet you time, and then dinner and family and bedtime. Like I said, we'll leave the details of the how of time blocking for another day, but let me bat away a few questions that may have popped into your mind. Do I have to block out inflexible chunks that can never be adjusted? No. Do you have to pre-block weeks and months ahead of time in a way that hems me in and feels oppressive? No. Does every day of the week need to be the same? No. Is there a way to do this wrong? Well, not really. It's a tool that's meant to serve you, so make it work for you. The object of the game here is to set up a rhythm to your schedule that serves you, not to box you in, but to free you up to focus down. Your chunks may be long or short, typically 90 minutes to 3-ish hours, and their theme could be pretty detailed or it could be fairly broad. You play around with what works for you. Let's take, for example, what you could do while your kid is napping. That's a lot of stuff, and yet it has a pretty specific parameter. You probably can't be too loud, you probably have to stay at home, and you're limited by your child's sleep schedule. So before I dive into the list about why you might want to give time blocking a try, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. You can hit that bell icon for notifications of future videos like this one. Okay, so here are the 11 reasons, plus a little bonus one, that time blocking might be useful for you. Number 1, time blocking takes away decision fatigue. With time blocking, you don't have to contemplate all of the options of everything you could be doing in every moment. Your choices are limited to what you previously assigned to that particular block that you are in. Having all of the choices available to you, sometimes that can be too much. If you want to read more about this, I suggest The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. I have a link in the description box below. In short, making decisions actually requires brain energy, and we're only given a limited amount of it every day. And we want to reserve our decision-making energy for making significant, important decisions, the stuff that really matters, and for making decisions that involve any kind of willpower, because that really sucks our energy. For example, as you get tired as the day goes on, your decision-making energy, it's used up. So it will be harder and harder to make choices that support your long-term health. You may not have the energy, for example, to opt for the walk around the block instead of zoning out with a bag of potato chips. Please don't get me wrong. I have no judgment. It may well be that the right choice for you in this day is zoning out with a bag of potato chips, but in this example, I'm assuming that the walk around of the block is the better choice. So when you limit your choices within the time chunk, you don't have so much to choose from, so you can focus on what's important and you reduce your decision fatigue, allowing to use your precious brain energy for other more important things. Reason number 2, why you might consider time blocking. It gives you back control. When you've blocked out your time, what you do in any given moment is more or less planned ahead and isn't just what came at you in that moment. the latest Slack message, the latest email. If you let the avalanche of inputs come down on you at all times, all day, every day, you're gonna feel out of control, overwhelmed, like you can never catch up. So if you do in that time block the only activities you assign to that time block, staying focused on that category of activities, you get to own that time. By not accepting the avalanche of input coming at you during that time block, you've taken back control. And then you can have a separate and distinct time block in which you accept and digest all that input, the calls, the messages, the emails, the notifications, a time when you can properly digest them. And in that block, they aren't an interruption, they are what you are doing. So you can process all that input and either take care of it right then or put it on your to-do list for another time. Reason number 3, time blocking gives you time for the small stuff. I reserve time blocks for the little things that aren't the highest priority and often get shoved down on the list. But, if they're worthy of space on your to-do list, it probably means that you want to do them or you really do need to do them at some point. Here's an example from my own life. A few months back, another driver, he dented my bumper. And my car was totally drivable, so there was no rush to call the insurance company, but, it did need to get done. But it only got done because it went into my block of similar stuff, like phone calls and personal loose ends. In this case, I think I changed a light bulb, I got my mammogram appointment, and I updated a credit card on a favorite subscription that was going to expire online. Reason number 4, why you might consider time blocking. It reduces distractions. You can tell your team or your clients, anyone who wants your time, hey, this is my focused work block. So if you'd like to meet with me, I'm available in these other blocks. That gives you time to actually get that focused work done without getting pulled away in other directions. You maybe have seen that often cited study. It's from the University of California at Irvine, and it says that it can take up to 23 minutes after an interruption to get back on track. 23 minutes is a bummer. That's real time. So the declaration of interruption-free blocks, that may reduce those time-wasting interruptions, and you might get back that 23 minutes. Reason number 5, you might consider time blocking. It can temper the urge to scroll. You may be like, well, all of us, and get the hankering to check social media while you're trying to work or do something else. But with the time blocking structure, you can tell yourself, nope, this is not a social media time block. I have other time scheduled to check social media, and the time is not now. And that means you're probably gonna have to ride out some discomfort. There might be a hankering for that dopamine hit, but it'll be worth it because you get to take back your time. And it's easier because you can tell yourself, I don't have to put off social media forever. I just have to put it off till, say, the next 45 minutes, till the end of this time block. And then you can scroll. You don't have to hold off forever, just until the end of the time block. Reason number 6 that you might try time blocking. For me, it eliminates the nagging in my head. I get voices that say, you're not doing enough, or you're not doing the right thing, or you're not doing the right thing at the right time, blah, blah, blah. But nope. That voice, you are wrong. I already decided that what I'm doing in this block is the right thing to be doing at this time. Here's an example from my life. I now block out time in the mornings, and part of that morning block is reading my industry newsletters. I would always get behind on them because I always had something more important to do. But, actually they are a valuable way to educate myself and keep up with the information that's pretty vital to my job. And in fact, reading them thoroughly sets me apart from others in my field who typically skim them if they read them at all. So even though reading these newsletters isn't directly billable, they impact my livelihood, and I've decided that they are important. But somehow my brain likes to tell me, no, don't read those. They're difficult, maybe a little boring, and by the way, you should be doing billable work because billable work is the most important thing ever. But no, now I have agreed with myself ahead of time that in these time blocks, reading these newsletters is what I'm doing. So I'm not going to let those impulses that tell me I should be doing something else win the day. I can remind myself that this is an important task and it's what we agreed to do, and there's no decision to be made here because it was already made, so we're moving on, and I'm reading those newsletters. Reason number 7 that you might try time blocking. It reduces the overwhelm that can lead to procrastination. Long to-do lists can be overwhelming, and overwhelm can lead to anxiety or procrastination or both. We see a big list and we think, ugh, no, too much. But if all you have to do is show up for the short to-do list assigned to that time chunk that you are in, you're good to go. If within that time block you only have a small amount of things to do, you've tricked yourself out of the overwhelm. You can just get done what's right in front of you and set the rest aside for later. Reason number 8. Time blocking can give you more opportunities for wins. When you complete a time block, you've just achieved something worthy of notice. Get to pat yourself on the back, do a little dance. When I'm done with the focus work block, I give myself a little dopamine hit by marking it done in my calendar. And I take a moment to do, a little mini celebration, and that reinforces the behavior, and that just, plain old feels good, both of which are major motivation boosters. Reason number 9, you might try time blocking. It gives you specific opportunities for rest and play. With time chunks that end, you can mark the end of the chunk with a breather. Just take a moment to get centered and come back to yourself, or maybe you stare out the window for a while and zone out, or you text a friend, or play a game on your phone, visit with your guinea pigs. Or you can check out my playlist. I have a playlist of 5-minute breaks if you want some inspiration about what you might be doing in your breaks. It's so easy to disregard breaks and rest, but I will say this over and over and over again until it is on my tombstone. Breaks and rest are a part of life. And if you're not taking them, you are not serving anyone by skipping them. Reason number 10, you might try time blocking. With time blocking, your day is optimized to align with your energy and rhythms and the flow of your life. For example, you may be one of those, crazy people who likes to exercise first thing in the morning. So you block out exercise for the morning. Or you maybe think it's wise to grocery shop when the stores are least busy. So you can block out that, say on Tuesday mornings. Or maybe it's a good idea to schedule meetings for the afternoon when the extrovert in you needs some people time to fuel up. With this kind of planning, you can get the most out of your time and feel most aligned with your personal rhythms. Reason number 11 that you might try time blocking, you get to avoid or maybe at least mitigate Parkinson's principle. Parkinson's principle says that the time it takes to do a task will expand the amount of time given to it. Here's the opening of Parkinson's 1955 essay. It is a commonplace observation that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Thus, an elderly lady of leisure can spend the entire day in writing and dispatching a postcard to her niece. So within time blocking, you have a definite endpoint. Our tasks and activities are less likely to expand the ends of some undefined blob of time. With limited time, you'll keep an eye on the most important parts of whatever you've assigned to that time block and get them done. Okay, so there is our list of 11 reasons why you might try time blocking, and here's a bonus reason. I say bonus because I'm not a productivity person who cares a lot about efficiency. You must be more and more efficient so that you can be more and more productive, so that you can achieve more and more and validate your worth as a human being and all that nonsense. No. I care more about your productivity experience and reducing your stress and friction. But I have to admit, with time blocking, you do get the bonus of efficiency. When you batch things together, you're more efficient. The obvious example is errands. If you put all of your errands in one afternoon, you're going to save yourself multiple times of getting ready to go out the door, and then also you get to maximize your time in your sweatpants. Or if you do all of your phone calls in one batch, you'll be in phone call mode with your headset charged up and your phone numbers nearby all ready to go. So we get the added efficiency of not having to take the time to physically switch gears. We can stay in a zone and work in that zone. But the same thing actually happens in our brain too. It can actually, when you stay in the same theme, you can reduce the number of time your brain has to switch gears. Switching mental gears does take up time and does take up brain energy. And of course, we want to conserve our brain energy so we can have a more peaceful and productive time. So if all of this excites you, great. Please hit that like button and comment below if you've maybe already been using some form of time blocking or if you think you're going to give it a try. And if you're not so excited, if this time blocking thing feels more like blocking yourself in, consider that time blocking can be just a tool. It doesn't have to be a full-blown lifestyle. in classic you to do you fashion, I did an intense couple of weeks, being super committed to time blocking. I was doing it every day so that I could really test it out. And I journaled as I went, and I saw what worked and what didn't, and I played around and I tweaked and so on and so forth. And since then, I kind of, do my own version. And most days I do plan out blocks, but there's some days when I know how the day is going to go and I don't need the tools, so I don't block out the time. Or other days when I just want to leave the day open and just let be what will be, I do that too, and it's totally fine. You don't have to do the textbook version or the version that everybody blogs about or whatever. You can just, make it your own, incorporate the best parts and leave the rest behind. So there you have it. There is the what of time blocking and the why of time blocking, the 11 reasons plus a little bonus reason about why you might try time blocking. If you're interested in the how, I've got another video planned for that a little bit down the road. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you hear about it when it comes out. Meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.